All right, the next unit we're going to do is on dilations. A dilation is a transformation that produces an image the same shape as the original but not necessarily the same size. Okay, that part of the description right there should sound familiar to you because of what it describes is two figures that are similar. And what a dilation produces is a figure that is similar to the original. The description of a dilation includes a center and a scale factor. Okay, so the way we're going to start this is we're going to do dilations in free space, so dilations that aren't on necessarily a grid. Notice there's two things we need to, in order to do a dilation. We need a center point that tells us where we're going to do the dilation from, and we need a scale factor that tells us how much bigger or smaller the image is going to be than the original. Excuse me. All right, so let's start with a figure. All right, let's start with the triangle ABC. And we'll use this point right here as my center of dilation. Okay, and we'll do a scale factor of 2. Okay, what a dilation does is it moves each point by the scale factor that distance away from the center point. So any point that's right on the center point would stay on the center point, because if I double 0, I get 0. A, notice point A here, if I measure how far A is away from my center point, I get like 1.4 centimeters. So what that means is if I double that, if I double 1.4, I'm going to get 2.8. So A is going to move twice as far away from my center point. Actually, every point is. Okay? So however far A was, now my new point is going to move to right there. I'm recording a video right now. You can go in the other room if you want to. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Now, the way that we denote that we've moved the point is with this little apostrophe. So this is A, this is A prime. So when you see this little tick mark, what that tells you is that's the new point. This was my original image, and then this is the new point. All right, I'm going to do the same thing for B. So B is also 1.4 away. Or sorry, B is also 1.4 away. So it's going to move about 2.8 away. So there's B prime. And C is almost exactly 4 centimeters away, looks like to me. So it's going to move 8 centimeters away. Alright, now if I connect, there's my new shape. Okay, excuse my line connecting B prime and C prime there. Alright, now, if we look at any side along here, AC and AC prime, those are the easy ones to check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So AC is 5, and if I count AC prime, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what you can see there is that that side doubled. Guess what? This side also doubled. This side also doubled. The scale factor tells me what's going to happen to each side. So if the scale factor is 2, it doubles. If the scale factor is 3, it triples. If the scale factor is 1/2, that means it's going to get half as big. So if I did a scale factor of 1/2 from the same center point, I should get a figure where AC then becomes 2.5, since this one's 5. In fact, let's go ahead and do that dilation and see that the same thing happens. Okay? So let's do that same picture. I'm just going to slide it down here. So we'll make that my center point. There's B, there's A, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's C. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do a scale factor of 1/2. Alright, so again that was 0.9, or sorry, 1.4. So I need to go to about 0.7. So about right there. B was the same distance away. About dead on 1.4, so it's going to be at about 0.7. Here's where A prime is going to be. There's B prime. Alright, C was almost exactly 4, so it's going to be almost exactly 2. C prime. Okay, so a scale factor of 1/2 made it half as big. Alright, and you can kind of just eyeball that. So one thing that I want to show you is that watch what happens if I connect my points here, the old points to the new points. So like if I connect A and A prime, right, and I continue that line through, and I connect B and B prime, like that, and I connect C and C prime, see how all those lines meet at the center point. The center point stays the same. All the other points move along the line coming from the center point. Okay, same thing down here. You can see how those line up. That goes through the center point, that goes through the center point, and that goes through the center point. Okay, let's do the same picture and the same scale factor, but let's change where the center was. Okay, so let's, I'm going to make the same original triangle. So there's A, there's B, and here's C. A, B, C. Alright. And let's do a scale factor of 2. But let's change where my center point is. Let's put the center point right here. Let's make that the center of my dilation. Okay. Well, I'm going to use my grid lines here to sort of cheat a little bit, just so that I don't have to measure it and I can do it a little more quickly. So see how A is 1 unit diagonally here? So that means A prime is going to be 1 more unit down diagonally. B is 2 units up, so I'm going to go another 2 units up to get B prime. C was down 1 and over 4, so to double that distance, I'm going to go down 2 and I'm going to go over 8. Okay. Now, if I connect those lines. Okay, so that's scale factor of 2, but my center point now was sort of inside the figure. Now, you might look at this and go, well, wait, it didn't, this only moved out 1 unit away, but this moved out 2 units away. Well, that makes sense because when I look in here, right, my center point is actually closer to the bottom than to the top. So it makes sense that this line is going to stay a little bit closer to this line than this line will stay to this line. Okay, I want you to think about, like, if you're watching, or if you're on Google Maps, for example, and you double click on a point on a map, what happens is you zoom in on that point. That's like the center of dilation. So notice the figure that I got here, ABC prime here, and ABC prime here, those are the exact same shapes. Okay? There we go. Okay, those shapes are exactly the same size. What changed is where we centered it at on the paper. So if I clicked here, right, if I was looking at my original figure here and I double clicked here to zoom in, now that's what ABC would look like. Okay, I would zoom into here and this would kind of be pushed off a little bit more to the right. Whereas if I'd have clicked in the center of ABC, I would zoom in on ABC. Okay? All right, so for today, your only practice is to do this just measuring. I have rulers up front that you can use to help you do it. I think you only have like 4 or 5 problems here, and you're just measuring out to kind of get a sense of what things look like. 4 problems. And I think that's enough for you to get going.